Hello everybody, my name is the Sports Time Machine and we welcome you to the April 16th, 1979 version of This Week in Stratomatic Baseball. Hi everybody, and we welcome you to the American League version of the show. On today's show, we will be taking a look at, first of all, this is going to be a Stratomatic PC replay. This is going to be an as scheduled replay with manual lineups, stock teams. So players that ended up with their teams at the end of the year will play the whole year with their team. No transactions, so no injury transactions. There's no minor league call-ups, so basically the best players will play the entire season. So players like Ricky Henderson, who came up later in the year, will play the full year, and we will see a full year out of number 30 from the Oakland Athletics. Also, I like to call this my Thurman Munson replay because of his death of August 2nd of 1979. I've never played a 1979 replay before, so we're going to play this with no injuries, no deaths, and everyone will play as expected for the entire season. But with that in mind, injuries are turned on and are encouraged. So disabled list can happen, will happen. You'll see that today on the report. And of course, if guys get hurt, they can get hurt. So we have to be concerned about maybe Munson getting hurt for the entire season toward the end of this, toward the end of the year too. But if that happens, hey, it happens. Again, the 1979 National League replay is brought to you by Chris Stratomatic Delaware. Please go over to his channel if you want to see the best of the senior circuit, as he is playing a cards and dice version, and he is actually at the very same point I am on the schedule at April 15th, 1979, as I begin play on April 16th. So neither one of us are zooming ahead of one another, which is pretty cool. I like to play every so often, watch games as they unfold. I play some of them. Sometimes I'll just let the computer play it out so I can set the lineups, set the injuries, so I can have an idea of what's actually going on. On today's show, you will see the standings. You'll see streaks and run differential. You'll see leagues, leaders, and team totals. And finally, we'll take a look at the all-important injury report and the newspaper style leaderboards that we'll have available. Again, this is your neighborhood sports time machine, I'm also doing the 1972 Major League Baseball replay, playing it RJL style, where we're playing a game on the schedule, at least one game, and then we'll go ahead and use the payoff pitch super fast results chart to get results for the games that have not been played as an autoplay feature. We're almost at the end of June with that one, so stay tuned for that, as we're starting to play that in basic with super hybrid, super advanced rules also thrown in. That's going to be mostly all cards and dice. So please, if you're with us, stay tuned for that replay. Let's take a look now what we have here in baseball. Let's take a look at the standing board. The Milwaukee Brewers coming at 7-1. They are 2 games ahead of the Boston Red Sox. They're 4-2. They're 2 games back. Now, if you look to the right of it, you'll see the actual. That's important because you'll see the Brewers are 1 game ahead of their actual standing, so that's good. Boston's 4-2. They were 4-2. Baltimore, the eventual league champions, 4-5. They're 3.5 back. They're 3-6 back then, so they started off slowly. The Tigers are 2-4, exactly the same. The Indians are 2-5. They're a game ahead of schedule. The New York Yankees, that is a shaking my head type team. They're 2-7. They're 5.5 back. They're 3 games behind schedule. The Toronto Blue Jays are 1-7. They're actually 3 games behind what they played in 1979. Over in the American League's Western Division, the Wild Wild West, Kansas City Royals are in first place. They're 6-2. 1 game ahead of schedule. The White Sox are 6-2. They're 4 games ahead, so they're playing well above schedule. The Mariners are 7-4. They're 2 games ahead. The Angels, the eventual American League West champions, are 6-4. They're 1 game behind. The Texas Rangers are 4-3. That's 2 games behind their start of the 1979 schedule. The Twins are 4-5. That's 3 games back of their start. The Oakland Athletics are 3-7. That's 2 games ahead. With the addition of Ricky Henderson playing a full year and this pitching staff, could be an interesting team whenever I watch the A's. I think they're a good-looking ball team. Let's look at the streaks in baseball so far. And as you can tell on the right-hand corner of the screen, it has been all Milwaukee Brewers all the time. They have won 7 in a row. They've already won 7 out of the last 8. So after losing opening day, they've won 7 in a row. The Yankees are 2-7. They've lost their last one, which means they won the previous before that. So I think they broke a 6-game losing streak. Other big losers and winners so far, the Tigers have lost 4 in a row. So they've lost 4 out of their last 6. Everyone else kind of winning one, losing one kind of attitude. The Baltimore Orioles have lost 3 in a row, which is kind of surprising. That's a talented laden team, so Weaver's going to have to get this team kind of moving fast. The Rangers, after starting off slow, has won the last 4 games. And now let's kind of take a look at the very important run differential in baseball. Highest run differential, you can tell, it is actually the Kansas City Royals at +20. At a +17 are the Milwaukee Brewers, and at +19 are the Boston Red Sox. Minus department, you can tell who are your teams are going to be trailing. The Toronto Blue Jays at -26 run differential, 17s each for the Yankees and A's. They can tell with their slow starts. And the Cleveland Indians are at -18 at run differential. The Orioles, in the way they've been playing, they are 4-5, and they only have a -2 runs differential. So that's kind of interesting if you look at that in our standings board so far. Let's take a look at our next board, and again, it's going to be our league leaders, and we'll show you that too when we show you the newspaper articles. But so far, the batting averages belongs to Leon Roberts. Please keep in mind the Mariners did start the season first, and they've also played the most games. So Roberts hitting .543, Rick Manning second at .444, followed by Lou Whitaker at .435. In the leagues in runs scored, Rod Carew and Jim Rice lead the American League along with Willie Horton at 9 runs. So is Leon Roberts. Hits, Leon Roberts leads the league with 19 hits. Doubles, Sexto Lascano. More to talk about Sexto when we get there. That is 6 doubles on the season, and so has George Brett. So Lascano, Brett, and Revering all with 6. Triples, Randolph with 3 for the Yankees, 2 for Dwight Evans, 2 for Bruce Bochy, and 2 for Larry Milbourne, followed by Wilson and Pete LaCock. Home run leaders, Eddie Murray has 4 of them, followed by Bobby Grich has 3, Dwight Evans has 3, Willie Horton has 3, Chris Chambliss for the Yankees already has 3, Ken Singleton has 3, and also Roy Smalley, followed by Dave Edwards of the Twins. And Dave Revering has 3. So a bunch of guys grouped up with 3. RBIs is Roy Smalley. He leads with 13, followed by Revering with 12. Walks, Brian Downing has walked 8 times, along with Leon Roberts and Wayne Gross. And that's it. And let's take a look and see if anything else we've missed on this board so far. I think that is it. Then we look to the right, and that's a very important statistic. Those are your team leaders and totals. The American League average right now is at 276. They have a handful of teams, I would say about 8 or 9 teams above that average department. Teams that are not above right now are the White Sox, Orioles, A's, Yankees, and Blue Jays. The teams ahead, of course, are the ones that are probably going to be winning. The Twins are at 310 right now. They've added 10 home runs. The Mariners are actually hitting 309, with 9 home runs. The Red Sox are hitting 305. That's no surprise. The Angels, they can hit. They're at 300, and the Brewers are at 299. Texas is at 290, followed by the Indians. Again, league average 276. Leading the league in ERA, the Chicago White Sox at 2.37 ERA, followed by the Royals 2.87, and Texas is at 3.05. The league's ERA is 3.99, so only about 6 or 7 teams are below that. The Twins, Yankees, Mariners, A's, Blue Jays, Tigers, and Indians are all above that. So that's kind of, you're seeing where the teams kind of separate themselves so far. Red Sox playing well. They're 4th at 3.23. They are 3rd in hitting and 4th in ERA. That's something to consider. The Texas Rangers right now are 6th in batting and 3rd in ERA. The Chicago White Sox, though, are hitting 259, which is below the league's average, but they're number 1 in ERA. So they're pitching, but their hitting has kind of not come around in spots. You can tell where the Yankees are. They're 2nd below at 246, and then they're midway point 4.41. So yeah, they have been a mess so far in your American League's 1979 Strat PC replay. Let's go to our final board, the injury report. The California Angels got injuries from Brian Downing and Mark Clear. You can tell with the injuries in the blue. Downing is out for at least for the next 12. Clear is out for the next 10. Red Sox, no injuries so far, so they're a healthy group. The Chicago White Sox, Ross Baumgartner just got put on the 15-day DL. Bob Stinson just got put on the 15-day DL for Seattle. For the Rangers, they are a healthy bunch. Yankees, playing as bad as they are a healthy bunch of Yankees. No injuries report. For the Blue Jays, nothing report. For the Brewers right now, Bob Galasco got put on the 60-day DL, and that could be possibly season ending. We'll see if he'll come back or not. The Tigers was John Hiller, the veteran on the team, went on a 15-day DL. The Kansas City Royals lost Rich Gale for 15 days. A lot of pitchers are getting hurt. When you roll the 666s on this, the computer really takes that seriously and knocks out your pitcher for a loop. Jeff Zahn, who had been pitching really well, this Twin staff has a lot of innings pitched, a lot of wins, so losing Zahn for probably about 2 to 3 starts will be important. The Cleveland Indians, they've been a mess. They've lost Bobby Bonds for 15, so he's still going to be out for at least another week. And then they lost Dwayne Kuiper for another 15, so he'll be back in about a week. So the Indians have been an issue. And for the Oakland A's, Chris Minieto was put on the 60-day DL. So again, he might be lost for the season depending on his availability and back. And as you look at what I consider a real neat part of this, the newspaper style recap. It shows the same people, the same things we talked about in the league's leaders. You see the standings, and then the extra ones I'm looking at. Interesting. Eddie Murray has a current 9-game hitting streak, followed by Leon Roberts, Paul Maurer, Ken Landreau, and Dave Edwards all have 8. And two stats we didn't talk about were the saves, ERA, and then stolen bases. Glenn Abbott leads the league with wins with 3. Shane Raleigh leads the league in saves with 3, followed by Bill Castro with the Brewers has 3, and Mike Marshall with the Twins have 3. ERA, Sid Monge has a 0 ERA, but he's coming out of the bullpen. Jack Morris has made, I believe, 1 start. He has a 0 ERA. And then Ross Baumgartner, before he got hurt, is at a .96. Nolan Ryan in his only start is at a 1, and Dennis Leonard's at a 1.06. In the stolen bases, Ricky Henderson, of course, leads the league in stolen bases with 12, followed by Willie Wilson with 7, Al Bunbury with 7, Rod Carew and Julio Cruz both with 5. Mike Parrott leads the league in strikeouts because he had the most starts so far. He has 18. That will change. Nolan Ryan has 16, Dennis Eckersley with 12, and Louis Tiant with the Yankees have 11. Well, folks, that, as you see, is your report so far for the 1979 stock American League replay. Again, the National League side of it is done by another special YouTuber friend of mine. His name is Chris Stratomatic Delaware. Go over to his page and you'll see his standings up to date as of April 15th, 1979, cards and dice. And of course, he shows all the statistics and all the players. So you have a little more, you'll see a lot more information from him. Thank you, folks. I appreciate your time today. This has been the Sports Time Machines 1979 AL Replay Show. We got to April 16th to 1979. And as always, we thank you for coming in, and we'll be right back with more right after this. And thank you for those commercial words. We gotta pay the bills, as they say. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we thank you again for coming back to the April 16th, 1979, this week in Stratomatic Baseball for the American League. How about that?